learning how to surrender in sex is one of the most desired states I hear women talk about. I hear all the time how I want to be able to fully let go. I want to get out of my head. I don't want to feel worried about how I look or what I'm doing. Sound familiar? I know it's familiar for me. So if you want to learn more about how to surrender in sex so you can have that delicious, mind-melting, time-stopping kind of lovemaking that blasts you into another dimension that comes with true sexual surrender, then you're in the right place. Because today I'm going to give you my 4 best tips to learn how to surrender in sex. So tip number 1, give yourself compassion. You have to give yourself compassion as to why surrendering during sex sometimes feels like climbing Mount freaking Everest. Because there are some pretty big hurdles almost every woman wrestles with. For example, the crazy busyness and to-do list of modern day life, the endless amounts of mass media and porn that barricades messages that we as women need to look and smell and fuck a certain way, the thousands of years of patriarchal conditioning that is encoded in our nervous systems that says things like our value as a woman is tied to our sexual performance. And another big one, the lack of safety we feel in society. Being women, we are naturally more vigilant about our safety because there is so much abuse and assault that happens in the world. So it makes so much sense why letting go, surrendering, especially in sex, can be so damn hard. So please, take a breath in right now into your heart, and on your exhale, let a wave of self-compassion wash over you and your entire being, and really give yourself empathy for what you feel and where you are at right now in your sexual journey, just as it is. Creating an internal environment of love and acceptance is a foundational step with any sexual goal, and it cannot be overlooked. Tip number 2, drop sex as a performance and a goal and allow sex as art. Performative sex looks like you being in your head, thinking you need to come faster, thinking you need to be in a position that looks good rather than what actually feels good, or rushing towards orgasm. All of that is sex as a formula, and it gets really mental really fast. But when you let sex be art, a ceremony, a ritual, you expand the aperture of what can happen. Because sex is about letting it be what it wants to be and not pushing your agenda hard and fast. Think about sex like an actual medicine ceremony or meditation or making of art. To make great art, you sometimes have to make bad art. When you sit in a ceremony or meditate, you don't always sit down and find enlightenment. Every single time, it is different. You know this. So let this be true with your sexual experiences as well. If all you're looking for is only pure magic and bliss when you go to sit in meditation or pleasure your body, then you're kind of missing the point. Because the point is to be alive. The point is to accept what is. So it's the same in sex and pleasure. It's about dropping the goal for it need to look a certain way, and instead, you and your lover becoming artists, becoming explorers of sex, of your body, of your needs, what touches work for you, what environments physically actually work the best for you, what communication needs to happen before or during so that you feel safe enough to actually find surrender in the moment. So dropping sex as a goal or a performance changes so much of how you experience sex and pleasure, and it actually opens you up to greater bliss. And when you do that, it's far more interesting. Tip number 3, exercise the willingness to feel everything. True embodied surrender comes from the ability to access your entire being in full expression, where there is rage and grief and joy and ecstasy and filth and profanity and purity, all of it, all of it. Surrender, it requires range, baby, range in your expression. It's not just about also feeling your range, but actually moving it through your body. Because I can promise you this, your biggest, most ecstatic orgasmic states are on the other side of your true unleashed nature. It's on the other side of whatever tears need to be cried, whatever rage needs to be raged, whatever wildness needs to be freed from your body. So it can be confronting and vulnerable to feel it all, especially in sex. But the trade-off is ecstatic, mind-blowing orgasms that unite you with God and the universe. I mean, that's pretty great. Because your ability, your nervous system's ability to feel that level of pleasure is directly correlated with your ability to feel everything. If you hold back your emotions, your truth, your expression, you're holding yourself back from that total surrendered state and high orgasmic pleasure. So exercising the willingness to feel everything is what's going to lead to your ability to surrender in sex. And to learn how to get yourself there, to feel everything, you've got to practice, which brings me to tip number 4. Practice. Practice feeling through safety. If you want to get better at something, you practice. If you want to get stronger, you go to the gym. If you want to feel surrender in sex, well, you go to the gym for your sex life. So specifically, this means creating intentional time to do practices that actually help you cultivate safety to be able to feel everything. Because to surrender and fully feel all of yourself, you have to know you're safe. And finding safety mostly is an internal journey of cultivating love and acceptance within yourself. Not exactly whether your lover will always accept you, but if you will always accept you. It's just a cold truth. Sexual surrender truly boils down to your self-worthiness, your self-love, to feel safe enough in who you are that you can let go. So to do that, you have to deprogram the conditioning of who you should be, or that you should be neat and tidy in your expression, and instead cultivate the inner worth and confidence to feel safe being all of who you are, and actually get off on and feel pleasure in being your full expression. Because let's be real, when you are in pure surrender and rapture in sex, it's sweaty and messy looking, and your face is making weird shapes and you're releasing all sorts of sounds. It's not pornographic perfection, it's wild and unique. So you've got to practice letting yourself go there and feel that way. So an example of this looks like giving yourself a sacred space for 10 to 20 minutes to self-pleasure while unleashing into your full expression. So moving, sounding, breathing big, writhing, dancing in your ecstasy and your weirdness while in connection to your sexual pleasure. And through this process, you'll discover and become more conscious to the parts of you that may be dampening that full expression and be able to actually tend to and soothe them. You might discover parts of you that believe it's not okay actually to be as big and wild as you are, or that you don't actually feel safe in letting go, even with yourself. And through doing these practices, you can have that awareness and systematically transform those beliefs and your nervous system to reorient towards more safety in your full expression. You'll also find more orgasms there. So you can click the link down below to get one of these practices to start you off. It's called The Art of Sexual Surrender. It is a guided audio recording that you can download for free that can help you to access your fullness and cultivate the safety and love you need so you can have vast pleasure and ecstasy and surrender. That's what I got for you. So take a moment now to write in the comments one thing you learned from this video so you can begin integrating it into your life. And if you benefited from it, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram so you can keep getting amazing free content to support your pleasure journey.